Breaking news. Lamine Yamal is all set to become the next big thing in football.
Nico Williams. Yamal! Oh, Salou, Yamal! Must score surely! And
insane skills, leaving some of the game's best fullbacks for dead, and even breaking into the national team before puberty. The kid's rise to the top is fast-tracked, and I can't help but wonder, is Lamine going to be the next Lionel Messi? Growing up for Lamine was tough. Born on July 13, 2007 in Esplugues, Lamine's dad is Moroccan and his mom is from Equatorial Guinea, but they decided to live in Spain. And as a humble kid from a decent background, Lamine and his parents lived in Mataro during his early days, before moving later to Granollers with his family. But wherever he went, it was always clear that one thing mattered to him the most: football. At an early age, Lamine had already developed a huge love for the game, and he spent the next years of his life trying to develop his skills. That's what led him to join CF La Torreta, where he quickly became one of the most recognizable kids on the block because of how good his left foot was. Until the year 2014, when his life as he knew it was about to change. Summer of 2014, he hadn't even turned 8 yet, but Lamine already had one of the biggest clubs in Spain scouting him. Barcelona has spies stationed almost around every local club in Spain, like it's a secret mission or something. And in 2014, one of them brought back a report about this 7-year-old kid they'd seen with amazing potential, Lamine Yamal. Quickly, they decided to move in before any other clubs got wind about it and beat them to the deal. And after sweeping him with some cool stuff like getting the chance to play on the same turf Messi did when he was younger, Lamine said yes and was off to Barca. Straight away, he became an instant hit. His excellent ball control and dribbling ability made him stand out, and over the next 7 years, his progression in the Barca setup was rapid. So fast that he even skipped playing for the Barca Cadet B team because the coaches at Cadet A figured he was way above that. Still, despite the heights he was reaching early on, Lamine managed to hold on to his core value. He was still that humble kid from La Torreta, so humble that when he got into the Barca setup, he didn't tell his childhood buddies. Not because he didn't want to tell them, but Lamine didn't want them to think that he was going to turn into some high, struck-up jerk, because he'd gotten a bigger move than most of them early on. He didn't even wear any of his Barca gear in front of them. 2021 now, and Lamine was on the verge of making a historic breakthrough. That year, he'd played in the La Liga Promises competition, a competition that has some of the best emerging young talent on display in Spain, and Lamine was the star of the show. His 7 goals helped Barca win the tournament, including dominating Real Madrid 6-1 in the youth version of El Clasico. Damn! This was the competition that had his name all over Spain because now people had started taking notes and wanted to see more of the kid. He was quickly on his way to becoming a national star, and the Spanish Youth FA decided to cash in early. So they had him play for both the under-15 and under-16 youth teams. But the big one for Lamine came in the under-17 Euros of 2023. He lit up the tournament by scoring bangers like this. Lamine bagged 4 goals for Spain as they made it to the semi-finals before losing 3-1 to France. And on his way back, Lamine must have thought he'd be returning to the youth setups to continue his development. But the plans changed because the top dudes at Barca had seen enough. In their eyes, he was now ready for the big time. Barca's head coach, Xavi, had been keeping tabs on Lamine for a while now, and after seeing his impressive performances for the national team at the Euros, he figured the kid was ready for a big break. So with the 2022-23 season about to come to an end, in a game against Atletico Madrid, Xavi was all set to make history with Lamine. He included him in the senior team for the first time. Even though he didn't get to come on, it was clear Xavi had big plans for Lamine. And in the following game against Real Betis at the Nou Camp, Lamine made history. He came on in the 83rd minute to replace Gavi, becoming the youngest ever player to play for Barca in La Liga since 1922, over 100 years. Lamine's cameo wasn't just for show in the 7 minutes he came on for. My homeboy almost scored. Now, Lamine was part of the team. The senior dudes at the club were starting to warm up to him. Despite his early rise to fame, he was still that humble kid with his core values, and they all liked that. So in the next team training session, they decided to hit Lamine with the club's special initiation. They had him subscribe to footballers like everyone else before him. Now he was officially one of them. Lamine ended the season with a La Liga winner's medal at 15. I couldn't even make my high school bench team at that age. But in the summer that followed, Lamine was about to experience the first major headline controversy of his career. And this one was so crazy that if it had gone according to plan, his life as he knew it would have changed. Lamine was still 15 at the time, meaning he couldn't sign a pro contract due to being still underage. Also meaning that in the summer he couldn't technically leave Barca and move to another club, since he didn't have a contract with them. Liverpool understood the situation, and so did Bayern Munich too. And they both reportedly tried to convince Lamine to join their project. But in the end, the kid decided to be loyal to the club that gave him his head start in the game. And this current season has Lamine bagging even more headlines. In the summer of last year, Barca were in transmission mode. The club lost wingers like Ousmane Dembele to PSG and Ansu Fati to Brighton, meaning there was a vacancy on the wings they had to fill. Now they could have gone out and brought some experienced name for a huge fee. Oh wait, it's Barca. Loan some experienced dude or sign him for free. But instead, Xavi figured that this new season was going to be it for Lamine. He didn't just want him making bench cameos, he wanted to get him straight on the action. And so in preseason, Xavi played Lamine in the big friendlies, and the kid impressed. An assist versus Spurs in preseason, add that to some magical stuff against Arsenal and Milan, and on Barca's first league match against Cadiz, Lamine was once again making history. He was now officially the youngest player to start a league game for Barca at 16 years and 38 days. Damn, I really messed up my life. Lamine was so good in this one that with 5 minutes left to play, Xavi decided to sub the kid off, and he was met with a standing ovation. It was now obvious that this kid was the future, and the Messi comparisons became even stronger, especially after delivering a masterclass in his next starting appearance. Barcelona versus Villarreal, and the game was chaotic. Barca managed to win 4-3 with both Xavi and Robert Lewandowski getting on the score sheet. The dude who assisted these two? Pretty sure you'd have to guess it by now. Lamine Yamal. His impressive form didn't go unnoticed at the very top, and just when he thought life couldn't get any better, it was about to. The international break was around the corner, and Lamine had two huge national teams struggling to cop him. Thanks to his parents, Lamine is eligible to play for the Moroccan national team, and if you watched how the last World Cup turned out, pretty sure it's safe to say Morocco could be on the rise to becoming an international powerhouse pretty soon. Add Lamine to the mix and it'll be crazy. But due to the fact that he'd lived in Spain all his life and played for them across the various youth levels too, Lamine was also eligible to play for Spain and Equatorial Guinea too. But in the end, he had only one option on his mind, and they knew it too. So in September last year, Lamine once again made history by becoming the youngest player to play for the national team when he made the cut against Georgia. And that night got even better. Capped his Spanish national team debut with a goal. This kid is the future. Back to the club action now, and September was a huge month of breaking records for Lamine. He made his Champions League debut for the club in the 5-0 win over Antwerp, becoming the second youngest player to feature in the competition. Behind the scenes, it was obvious the club was going to offer him a mega contract soon. But after seeing the way he was playing, they knew they couldn't wait any longer. And in October, Lamine extended his Barca contract to 2026 with a buyout clause of $1.3 billion. That's more than the national budget of Cyprus. In all of this though, Lamine was yet to officially score for the senior team, and he decided he'd wait long enough. And against Granada in La Liga, he finally got off the mark. Again, this kid is still only 16. It's April now, and Lamine has 13 goals and assists in 40 games for Barca this season. That's even better than Messi had when he was that kid's age. It's clear he's got a long way to go if he's ever going to measure up to the GOAT. But if he keeps up with the way he's been playing now, the kid stands a chance even Messi wasn't this good at his age. Heck, Messi wasn't getting a standing ovation from the home of his biggest opponents at 16. The only major thing Messi had done when he was 16 was subscribe to Footballers, and Lamine's done that already, and you can too by hitting that button down below.